Honestly, never mind.
I don't like you. You know what's funny?
What's up?
Because we always start off the podcast. We're like, oh, we're starting. Like we just kind of jump into it, and like eventually somebody was going to be like, oh, how's your day? Like, how's your week been? And like, let's catch up. I was literally going to wait for you to ask me, and I was going to be like, honestly, never mind.
No, that was
so,
there was no way I was gonna let you beat me to that punch.
So the fact
no
that
way.
the fact that we both were already on the same kind of bull, yeah. Hello everybody, welcome to the podcast. And wow, this is weird. I'm saying it this time. I'd never say this.
You should say it more often. As a matter of fact, you have to say it now for now on.
Literally is not going to be a rule going forward. It has to flow naturally. But anyway, welcome to the podcast. Last week we discussed Drake, and an hour after we ended the episode, he dropped Honestly Never Mind. So
yeah,
I figured we might as well just jump right back into it before we start the next topic.
Yeah, let's just keep this going. I wish we could like phone in Isaac like right now.
It's funny because like literally we finished recording, and like an hour or so later, I'm still in Jamaica, and one of my friends in my group chat puts it in the chat, and I'm literally like, immediately I'm like, this is just stupid. Like this is the dumbest troll. There's no way Drake randomly releases an album. And then the man posts it on his own like social media, and I'm just like, wow, like this is real. I go out the room and I'm screaming at Isaac, and like we're both just sitting there freaking out. And
it's crazy. It's a crazy coincidence.
I think we like you said, we manifested it.
Yeah, we just and man, like did a finger on the monkey's paw curdle. Like did we
I think we need to start talking about Frank Ocean more.
We got our wish, but like dude,
yeah.
It's also like it's really like low-key kind of interesting because I was editing the podcast, like having listened to Honestly Never Mind.
And
like one of the things we were saying is like, yeah, we like want him to make like more focused music. Like give me a shorter album. Do something new. Like, you know, like we said that like a bunch last week. And like
boy,
we got what we wanted. Like
we literally got what we wanted.
We got what we asked for. Because there's another thing, and I didn't think I had to say this part. But it kind of goes without saying that like I also like wanted like effort put into it. Like
that's one way to put it. It's like I won't say that effort wasn't put into it. So my first initial reaction, I had to overcome something basically within myself because it's very easy the first couple minutes or first couple hours that an album comes out, everyone's
got to have a take.
Yeah, instantly it's just like, oh, this is trash, or oh, this is amazing, this is the best album ever, whatever it might be. Like you got to be the top comment, and
and you know the album's going to be a masterpiece when Twitter's still figuring it out like a week later. Like,
literally, like it's funny because like what I saw initially when it first came out, I think the last game of the finals had just ended. So like nobody was really paying that close attention. I was able to sit off to the side and I played maybe 2-3 songs and I turned it off, which is something I never do. I had to mentally get over this hill of everyone saying that it's trash and that it's something that I'm not used to, and to settle down and relax and admit that this is not a rap album. This is not a hip hop album.
Yeah,
and
like
I can't
not
look
even
at it in that scope. Right. I can't look at it in that scope. With that being said, you have more experience with house music. So
I have a casual experience with house music, but yeah. So like
what do you think?
I feel like I'm kind of like stuck between two places. Because when I heard that it was like more of a house music, kind of dance music kind of vibe, I actually like kind of liked it. I'm like, okay, like it kind of seems like a genre where Drake's skill set could shine.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, like it is a new direction. And, you know, I give him kudos because this is full fledged like a house album. Like it's not like house flavored hip hop. This is a house album.
No, yeah. That's like the most significant difference that you need to point out. It's like in the past it might be like mixtures between genres, but like I
This is
feel
a
like
full
on
fledged.
this album, yeah,
This
it's full fledged.
this is like I would say as deep a dive into house music as like Awaken My Love is a dive into funk music.
Okay,
The difference is,
go ahead.
I just don't think it's nearly. I don't think it's anywhere near as good as that album.
That
And
is, yeah.
I actually like the joke I wanted to test out on the podcast was like this feels like the direct middle between like Childish Gambino going funk and like Machine Gun Kelly going like punk. Like this is like in the direct middle of those two extremes.
Wow.
Like
That's no, that's a good way of putting it because, like, excuse me.
yeah, no, because like it's not something I would be opposed to. Like the
Right.
thing is that to me a lot of the album does feel very low effort. It does feel very much like I think about half of half of like the beats, the production is good. I think a lot of times like about 50-50 the production's
Mhm.
really good. And I think there's a few songs that like are just altogether very good. But
Yes.
overall,
I
I
was-
do think it's like it's a below average album, and I think the issue I have with it is that it feels very low effort. There are songs on this that do not feel finished. Like
it it's interesting that you say that because I never thought about it in a way of like, oh, is the song finished or not? Just because it's only been out for like a week. Like, but the fact that you did point that out, there has been multiple times, especially the first couple times I listened to it, that it felt like it was almost dragging out as though there was just like a filler and something was supposed to go there. Like the song is really not finished. He didn't put something there. Or the biggest thing that stood out to me, as I accepted that this was like a form of house music, even though it's not the best. Not that there's like quote unquote drops, because it's not like EDM or something. Like there's not some
Yeah.
bass drop. But like there are clear moments in these songs where like they're dance music, you're in a club, it kind of builds up to this moment, and then it's like a release of expression. Every single time that it get to that point, on whatever song it might be, besides Jimmy Cooks, because that's actually a hip hop song. That's the
Yeah.
only one I said.
yeah, and that's
But
why I'm so split on that song because
Okay, that makes sense.
yeah, because like even though it's I would say like below average, it still is like a genuine house album.
Right.
And then Jimmy Crooks is like, no, we're just gonna put one hip hop song on there.
Yeah, this is an actual like
Yeah, and
song.
it feels weird. But it's a very good song. Like
It's an amazing song.
Yeah, it's a very good
and
song.
I'm okay with it being there just because like it's almost like I think we mentioned this with I think it was To Take Care, where it's like, oh, the model is like that after movie Marvel's
yeah,
credits.
it's like it definitely could have been like a bonus track.
Right. But anyway, like I was saying, it's a lot of build up. When it's supposed to drop or when it's supposed to hit, it is very lackluster. And so it took me a very long time to actually like enjoy it.
Yeah.
But once I came to good terms with it, like I was able to see like I actually like Texco Green. I actually like Currents. I actually really like Sticky.
Sticky is I think Sticky and Jimmy Cooks are genuinely very good songs.
Right. Yes. And then Liability, I like the like kind of like the slow reverb, chopped and screwed kind of vibe.
Okay,
Those were the only ones that stood out to me personally.
So I'm incredibly biased because I love like slowed down, chopped and screwed music.
You did not like it.
I didn't hate it, but
Okay.
it definitely felt like an unfinished Drake song, fucking slowed and reverbed, and like it does not feel like a concise thing, and it feels kind of odd on the album. Like I don't hate it, like because I just like the vibe of it, and I can appreciate it on that level, but like it's like Frankenstein's monster. It's like it looks and talks like a man, but it's like I can see the stitches. Like,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, okay, then I want to ask something else.
yeah,
So before I get to like the big point of what I want to bring up and Drake in general,
yeah.
before we get there, have you looked at the lyrics? Because we've made a pretty big point about how lyrics matter in specifically hip hop and rap genre.
Yeah.
We made like a whole rant about it with Travis Scott like maybe 2 weeks ago. In house music, I don't think it matters as much, but have you actually looked at the lyrics? There are actually some good lyrics
I
in some
mean,
of these songs.
no, I haven't. Because I'll be honest, like, as I'm certain that, like, Sticky and Math, I'm certain that there's plenty of songs where there are, like, pull apart bars. Like, even, I don't remember what they were, because I gotta be honest, I did think the album was, like, a touch forgettable.
Sure.
You know, I don't think a whole lot. I think there's, like, a few good songs. Texco Green was pretty good. Uh, Sticky, Massive. That was really. Oh, and A Keeper were like really the only ones I really liked.
Okay.
You know,
And see, there's something for everybody.
but no,
We
like
literally just said all
there are like I don't think it's like an irredeemably bad album.
different songs.
You know,
Almost.
yeah, that's my thing. Like I don't think it's like an irredeemably bad album by any stretch. I just think it's pretty obviously low effort. It could have been cool. I have zero issue with Drake like doing a house track, and like it was shitty seeing people like shit on it for not
Immediately,
shit on it immediately for not being a hip hop album. And
which is
like
dumb.
because you can shit on it for just being like kind of mid. Like,
I was gonna say, like,
you can
I can
shit on it.
understand. Yes, you can do that in your own right.
Yeah,
I just feel like people didn't even give this album a try.
yeah.
And I can understand having a level of disappointment, but at the same time, it's like, bro, if this was if this is what he chose to put out, then like you kind of just gotta accept it and like take it for what it is, and at least judge it in the sense of it being a house.
Yeah. Well, like the thing, there's like an inherent contradiction to it, man. Because like on one end, because it is like a full, like once again, this is not hip hop flavored, house flavored hip hop. This is like a full fledged house album. That seems very intentional. That seems like not something you do by accident. But then you listen to like Falling Down, the second song in the album, and it literally sounds like he just went in the booth and just like, and like just like you see what I mean? Like there's a tension there.
Yes.
It
Yes.
seemed like it was a move that had like really interesting like strategy and like it put him in a really interesting place, and then he just didn't execute it very well at all.
I do agree with that.
Yeah. But like I don't think it's like irredeemably bad. Like I do. But that's kind of just how I feel.
I was gonna say that was gonna be like my last takeaway because and we kind of texted about this previously. I honestly, and I feel like you're gonna give me pushback for saying this. Obviously, I want the album to be amazing. Like I would want a classic. Like if he's gonna dive into something new, if he was to nail it, it would go down in history. Like obviously, but not that I'm okay with it being like you said mid, but at least for the mass public that it's reaching, even as I say, like I feel like I'm contradicting
I
myself.
I don't
I
think you've
didn't.
said anything crazy. Like I think everything you've said so far is just like pretty reasonable.
I, I feel like it didn't need to be amazing. I
Yeah.
wish
No,
that it
I
was,
no, I
but I
agree.
don't feel like it needed to be. Like the purpose of house music, like you need to get up and dance, and like you need to feel the music and enjoy it. And I feel like the mass attention that Drake grabs from such a wide range of different individuals, if this was a 10 out of 10 house music album, people still wouldn't even appreciate it
I think
or even understand how to.
I I love that you said that because I agree, right? And yeah, I look. I don't bemoan someone for just being like critical of something and then just like liking it anyway. Like that's
Mm,
to me, I think that's perfectly fine. Like yeah, like this album is a little, it's kind of just a vibe, but like that's a place music can exist in. And like, if that works for you, if that's what you enjoy it as, you should listen to it.
Mm.
You know, for all the talk of like substance and everything, probably my favorite album of the year has like zero substance in it.
Which one is that?
Kavinsky's Reborn. It's all
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's all like a throwback to like 80s synth pop like movie music.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean that's a great example to bring up right there.
Yeah. So like yeah, it's not the things that resonate with you. I just think we should be critical with the things we love, and if you know, as long as you are, if you continue to love it, that's great. Like that's a blessing. That's a win.
Yeah.
So hey, I do not. I would not look down on someone for playing this album. Although,
And I would also not look down for them not to play.
yeah, no, I would not judge someone
Right.
for thinking this is bad because it's not great. Like,
Yeah, like in your own right. Did I sing you? Oh my god, I don't know if I sent it to you. There was something. It's funny that you bring it up. Did I sing you, or did you send me this? There was something on Twitter or Instagram where there was a chart where it broke down. It was an X and Y axis basically. So just imagine like an X and Y axis here.
yeah,
And like
it's like a it's
okay.
it's like a political compass.
Almost, yeah, literally, just like that. And
Yeah, of all the Drake albums.
to the left and right was like you listen to this privately or publicly, and then up to bottom was like you listen to this for like depth quality, or like you listen to this for like to vibe basically.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it.
Yeah, it was a really great video. I think it was TikTok actually. I think I sent it to you on TikTok.
Oh yeah.
I feel like this is one of the rare ones that like this could be placed anywhere. If you want to listen to this quietly on your own, like it doesn't really, it's not meant to serve that purpose. It's better than like publicly vibing because it's club music. But like this is one of the few albums I can understand you placing it anywhere.
Yeah, this is not a sit and listen to it album. This is a party album. And like, you know, I think sometimes people, especially the kind of people like us who like to go on the internet and talk about music, I think sometimes we forget about the inherently social nature of it.
Mm-hmm.
And like, sometimes music is just going to exist to do that void. And we can be critical all we want, but we just have to respect that that's the place it has.
Right. Yeah. Very, very true. Because for us, we'll listen to Frank Ocean when we're happy and we're sad, just because like we like the quality of the music. Like,
yeah, well, no, I actually
public or private.
I actually love being sad, and I love putting on obnoxiously over the top songs. If I'm at a party and I get on the aux cord, White Ferrari, 3 times.
Put it on repeat.
Yeah.
I don't care who's there.
Bad luck to talk.
Oh man, go over in the corner.
All right, let's get to the albums because we got a lot of stuff dropping this week.
There is a lot of stuff.
Run down the album service.
Okay, let's pull this up very quickly. Okay. Even though this isn't exactly hip hop, this is very big, so I want to include it. Giveon is dropping, I believe, his second album, give or take. This is going to be huge. Like, this is probably going to be one of the biggest R&B albums in the year, in my opinion. So, let's throw that in there. Chris Brown is dropping Breezy. Jesus Christ.
Well, the worst people in our lives are about to get even worse.
It's 23 songs. I looked it up. So,
oh no,
it's not a 40 song. We have Lupe Fiasco, Drill Music, and Zion. This is huge. And then we have French Montana dropping Montego, which I need to get your opinion on.
Put out some French Montana. He's my favorite artist.
Yeah, we really need to discuss that. And Kochi, so he's one of the people that's going to be in the topic that we're discussing today.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll start. I already gave a very brief description of Giveon. I love Giveon. When I found him, absolutely jumped on the bandwagon.
Who doesn't? And he took off at this point.
Yeah, it's so good.
He's really good. Yeah, no, so, I mean, I'm gonna have to listen to Giveon, but I think you can guess which one I'm most excited about.
Yes. So go ahead.
Nah, just Lupe Fiasco, baby. Lupe's
Mm-hmm.
dropping. It's Lupe season. Watch this be better than Mr. Morale.
All right, relax.
Like, watch
Relax.
this be the album of the year.
I wouldn't be opposed to it at all, but I
Watch
don't
this
know if
be
you got it
better
in
than
'em.
To Pimp a Butterfly. Like,
All right, Brandon. Now you're going too far. But very excited for those two. The most.
yeah, Giveon and Lupe
Uh,
for sure.
I don't.
We said our piece about Chris Brown.
Yeah, we.
It's not for
You know,
us.
if you haven't heard our rant, I advise
Go
you to go
back
listen
and
to
search
it.
for the one with Eddie. Like,
Yeah. But anyway, Chris Brown still exists somehow, and his dance moves have not changed since 2009.
yeah,
So he's dropping an album for some reason, and I'm curious about something else.
yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I've ever sat down and listened to French Montana ever.
You know, there are songs that like are French Montana songs that I like, but it's because other people are on them. You know,
Like,
like there's this. They were actually back to back on his last album. What I don't know if it was his last album because I don't. French Montana is a CIA asset. Like no one listens
all
to.
right, bro.
Like
He's been dropping music,
he always does. Who listens to it?
bro. He had an album for
Probably
the
like
past
probably in
3
like
years,
the probably in like the United Arab Emirates. Like
bro. I honestly, that's so wild to me because I think he's gotten more hate than Logic. He's gotten more hate than Russ. Um,
I don't know
I
about
haven't even
that.
sat down and listened to him.
I don't know about that. I think he definitely I think he gets less hate than those people.
You think
Because
so?
yeah, I genuinely do. But I don't think he gets as much love either. Because like Logic and Russ have like a core fan base.
Yeah. Okay.
Like no one's a French Montana fan.
I
Like
have yet to
no
see that.
one. Like yeah, like some
Oh,
really awful people I went to high school with, like Russ.
I'm
But like
dead.
no one likes French Montana.
He doesn't even get the attention to
You
be
know what I
hated
mean?
on.
Like quite literally. I mean, like I think he's good for a feature. Like you know,
Brandon,
like
take a guess at how many monthly listeners he has. This might blow your mind.
29.
Shut up, bro. It's not 29. No, it's in the millions.
6? I don't know.
Bro, it's almost 16. There's
That-
16 million monthly listeners to French Montana. I need to meet him. I need to know who it is.
Yeah, I need to know. That should be our
Imagine we do a deep dive.
that's like investigative journalism. We do a documentary like trying to find
Bro.
like core French.
Oh my god, that
We're
is
like,
hilarious.
yes. Who is the person?
That is hilarious. Nah,
If
see,
you-
now I'm gonna have to go.
If you're like a hardcore French Montana fan, reach out. I'm watching.
I'm so sorry.
You are gonna be if a hardcore French Montana fan reaches out. Next episode, we go talk to that person.
Bro, I'm looking.
We drop
I'm
everything.
looking- this is crazy. I'm looking at the track list for the past 3 years. He dropped one 2019. Brandon, this man has big features and it still flops.
Yeah. Like I remember the song "Unforgettable." Like that was fun. I like that.
Oh, that was huge. Yeah, that was like
Yeah.
that was a staple.
I remember the song "A Lie," which had The Weeknd on it, and for a long time I thought it was a Weeknd song.
He's had music, that same album, the ones that you're mentioning, A Lie and Unforgettable, he has a song called Jump by Travis Scott that I haven't even heard.
Yeah. He has
Migo Montana, a song with Quavo.
a song
No
with Drake,
Pressure.
Kodak Black, several songs with Drake.
Young Thug, Future, T.I., Pharrell Williams.
Do you think he
Jesus
sells
Christ.
drugs?
It's got to be something. A$AP Rocky, Party Next Door, Chris Brown, Post Malone, Cardi B, Belly,
Yeah.
Kevin Gates, Kodak Black. I'm so confused.
He was on the the Work remix with ASAP Ferg and Schoolboy Q and Trinidad James.
No, he was not.
Yeah, he was.
Brandon, why don't people like him? I
I don't
haven't listened
know.
to him, so I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. Like, why don't we like him?
Nah, see, I'm not. There's no way I'm gonna hype myself up to listen to French Montana to see if he's good or not.
Should we do that? Should we do like an investigation into like French
Bro,
Montana?
I'm dying. There's no way. If we come back next week and the topic is French Montana, I think it's gonna be our last episode.
Yeah.
Wow.
Also, what does this name mean?
I don't.
Montana's in America. Pretty easy geography,
bro.
dipshit.
What's in Montana? Rose from New York mixtape underground in the 2000s to emerge as a pop-savvy hip-hop artist. There's no shot.
Disagree.
There's no shot. His biggest listener base is in London. Nah, B. London, Los Angeles, Sydney, Toronto, and then Chicago.
God, that makes me feel sadder than like when I hear like the murder statistic. All right, are we done? You're laughing so hard, you're like clipping.
Bro. Nah, that's wild. That is wild. I'm done. Yeah. I'm done with that section. We can move on to the singles.
Yeah, we're done talking about French Montana. For now.
We can move on to the singles.
We will be talking about this again. This is not the last time. I
swear, next week, if we do this, I'm about to die laughing. Oh my God.
All right, so we got singles coming out. Right? We got Roddy Ricch and Aaron May. They're dropping EPs, which aren't singles, but they're in the dock with singles.
Right.
Yeah.
Little 1-2 punches.
Yeah.
2-3 songs.
Who's Aaron May? This is a new name to me.
Up and coming artist. I actually thought he was going to be on Freshman XXL, and that's why I want to throw him in here. But you brought up a good point last week. I think you need like a certain amount of albums or something.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure. But he's one of the people I dropped. He's one of my recommendations, I think a week or two ago. He dropped an album called Chase, and I think he's phenomenal. So I'm very excited for this.
Sick. All right. Aaron May, Roddy Ricch. Those are going to be some quick listens.
Did you listen to Roddy Ricch's last album? I wanted to bring this up not a month ago. Jesus Christ.
At the time, but like I couldn't recall anything.
Okay.
Yeah, I listened to the one with the box on it, the one that like.
Of course, that's like the blow-up one.
Yeah, everyone did. It's good. It's good. I don't think it's incredible.
So, like, the reason I'm asking, because I think we actually discussed this on a previous episode. So, apparently a lot of people think he fell off because his first album was significantly... Well, his first album was good for a first album for an artist. Like, it was actually really high up there in terms of ratings and streaming numbers, whatever you want to measure. And then he dropped Live Life Fast, and then everyone said he fell off. I finally went back to listen to this. This is a good album. In my opinion, I think this is actually a good album.
That's interesting.
I don't understand why he's taking this much heat. And like, in reality, another album that I just listened to this week that I finally got to was Corday's, and I didn't like that one.
Really? Everyone likes Corday's albums.
I remember someone said Corday has all like the bad parts of J. Cole, but it's amplified. Because sometimes J. Cole, people say might get too deep or the story may not be too intriguing.
Yeah.
Which I don't believe personally. You know I'm a J. Cole fan.
I think sometimes his songs can air that way. But yeah, usually I feel like he pulls it off.
Right. So apparently, like everyone says that, and I would say that. I've heard a lot of people say that Corday does the exact same thing, and that's why he's not blowing up. and like maybe it played into my expectations listening to it, but like I just found it really corny. A lot of the songs are about him like coming out of the dirt, and he just doesn't seem to have that background.
I mean, like, yeah, but he's also just not the type of artist that blows up anymore.
Yeah, I
You
damn
know,
that
like he doesn't
sucks.
really have like tight hooks, shit that goes
Yeah, even the
viral.
choruses was
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah,
But anyway, I guess moving on. Just want to throw that out there. But
right.
the actual singles,
Yeah. All right, so we got five of them. We have "It Is What It Is," Reason featuring J Rock, Bliss, Zakari featuring Isaiah Rashad, Beyonce, "Break My Soul," already out,
yes,
Brent
okay.
Faiyaz, "Prince of Fame," and Lil Nas X featuring NBA YoungBoy, "Late to the Party."
Yeah, all of these are. I added all these for
These
very
are
good
all
reasons.
actually pretty interesting on their own terms.
Yes, yes. So I guess we should just start off with TDE and break those down.
Yeah,
Maybe TDE's making a quick return. Some people might be coming out with albums. So
yeah.
I'm
I
very
mean,
excited.
we
Reason
have
and J Rock, Zachary and Isaiah Rashad all signed to TDE.
yeah,
So you never know.
and like I still think we're in the midst of a Schoolboy Q album run up.
Yeah, he's been quiet,
Yeah,
but he needs to
he
come on
dropped
with it.
Soccer Dad right before Mr. Morale.
I feel like Soccer Dad was more than. I feel like that was so long ago.
It was in May.
Huh? Maybe I'm just trying to rush it.
Yeah. So
Okay, but
yeah,
yeah,
no,
no, I'm still in agreement.
it does seem like they're in a
Ready.
release cycle for sure.
You think it's
Uh,
gonna be Schoolboy next then?
I think it could be whoever. I'm not totally certain. I definitely don't think it's going to be SZA, especially with them reissuing
Yeah,
her album.
I
So
think it's gonna be Absol. I'm feeling
yeah,
Absol. It's been
I
too
feel
long.
like it could be Absol. Schoolboy Q is the one that has evidence for it, but
Right?
same with Zakari now. So
Yeah, it's true.
yeah, did you listen
But
to
I'm excited for those.
The Beyonce track?
I did.
Yeah,
So is house music like?
it's also house music.
Is this what's going on this summer?
I
Are we
guess
all listening
that's
to house
the
music?
thing. The thing is that's interesting is there's a lot of like other genres that kind of come in and they kind of like take over the popular sounds. Like I think
Hmm.
about like the last 2 3 years and like the '80s synth pop sound that like the Weeknd started and then like Dua Lipa and like Harry Styles and they all like now everything sounds like that, right?
Hmm.
I wonder if house music is the next aesthetic. I always thought it was inoculated because it is very popular just in its community. But yeah, no. And also, I thought it was a fun song. I liked it.
I did listen to it kind of on a light basis. I wasn't able to dive too deep. It's funny, like I literally heard it and I was like, why is house music becoming the new thing? Um, I feel like I don't have enough house music experience to actually like give too much of a say on it.
Yeah. Come to
I
my
and
house.
yeah, I'm about to say, well, we'll plan the whole thing. We'll actually like get
Yeah.
into the genre, but
Yeah.
it was light. It was easy. Um, it just didn't stick. I guess just because I don't know enough about house music, but it was alright.
Yeah,
I just found
definitely.
it really interesting that she was praised and well, Drake was
Eh. I think this song is a much higher quality than pretty much everything on Honestly Nevermind.
really
I really do, yeah.
okay.
Um and yeah, Brent Faiyaz. His album's getting ready to drop.
He finally released the track list.
Yeah. Yeah.
All of the features are old songs.
Yeah, that's less than ideal.
I don't like that.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
still gonna deal with it, but
yeah, I mean
kind
what
of
are you
sucks.
gonna do? Not listen to the album? Like
Yeah, no, that's not really an option.
yeah.
But that definitely sucks.
Yeah. But at least they're good songs though.
Yes, at least they are good songs.
Yeah, who knows? You might
Um,
get some re-edits or something in there.
I will say the little like trailer that he put out has gotten me listen to a lot of Brad Fires this week.
Yeah,
So I'm preparing for it.
you do you. I don't
It
want your
seems like
vote. I don't want all your emotions to be out of whack when it happens.
I was
You can
laughing.
be kind of a handful.
I was literally laughing with one of my friends today. I feel like every time I'm either falling in love or falling out of love, a major R&B album comes out. So I think I'm preparing myself.
Yeah. Oh, all right. So let's we already started with the news then with Breast Fires is releasing the track list.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about something a little more personal.
Okay.
Purvis. What did you just acquire a ticket for?
Man, bro, I'm so hyped. I am so hyped. Like, I just got the tickets for Mr. Sir Kid Cudi, and he's bringing along Don Toliver. And on his tour, he's also going to bring along Denzel Curry and Ozero Shake. I am so excited for this. I'm going to be at the United Center losing my mind.
That's a hell of a fucking show.
Yeah, no, this is going to be probably the peak event.
Yeah, no, this is a big show. This is a big show. Unfortunately, Kid Cudi is performing the Friday of Riot Fest, which is, I was thinking about it the other day, and I was talking to my girlfriend about it because we're going to Riot Fest together. And Friday night is My Chemical Romance, their big return show. And this was supposed to be their first return show, and it's been delayed like 2-3 times because of COVID.
This is going to be a huge event.
And it's like debatably one of the biggest shows like in the city's history. And like I'm kind of like low-key like pretty excited to go see it, even though like I don't hate My Chemical Romance by any stretch, but never really my thing. But man, I was bummed when it was like, well,
could it not come at a worse time for you?
I feel a little bit better knowing that Denzel Curry's not on the Chicago leg.
Yeah, it's gonna be 070 Shake, which I still need to get into.
Which still an incredible set of artists.
Yeah,
so
I'm not complaining.
And Don Toliver speaks for himself. I'm really curious how he's live.
Man, Brandon, I'm about to be floating, like, and that would be an understatement if I'm being honest. Don Toliver and Kid Cudi, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. If they do Moon, if they perform Moon, bro.
You might get that.
I'm so excited.
That'd be a lot. Moon is really good. So, just kind of a rotating topic that we've been talking about. Fantano, someone I really enjoy, gave Honestly Nevermind a not good. Purvis, do you have something to say about this?
I don't understand. I don't. I really don't. Because as a not fan, I've had to listen to Fantano give multiple not goods to an artist I already enjoy. Yeah. And a music I already enjoy. So I take everything with a grain of salt. And everyone has their own right to their opinion. I feel like this is an over-exaggeration.
Here's the thing.
Like, not good?
I don't know, man. Like, I feel like I disagree with him because I don't think it's irredeemably bad. Like, I also don't really like the whole, like, giving albums, like, a number. Like, I do it begrudgingly. But, like, at the same time, like, if I was reviewing this on a scale of 1 to 10, on a good day, I'm giving it, like, a 4.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
Okay, I'm glad you actually did eventually give a number because that's what I was going to ask earlier.
Like, okay, this is annoying, right? I just got to bring this up because someone we used to work with, me and him got into this argument all the time. I tell you, okay, let's say you listen to an album, right? And it is just completely average.
Right.
What do you rate that out of 10?
Oh, I see what you mean. So it's basically an average of 5 or 7?
Yeah.
It honestly all depends on, like, who you're talking to. personally, a 5 is average.
Okay, perfect. Because like the idea that 7 is average, I hate that. I refuse to acknowledge it. Like
That is literally just something we are forced trained through school.
you literally said it as I wanted to say it that way and do it in like my crazy way.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, that you're completely
no.
right. Yeah,
We are
no.
told that 70 is average because that's what a C is, and we're told in school that you need to get a C or better.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
Yes. So yeah, like when I think of like a 7 that came out this year, I think about like
Ghetto Gods? Maybe.
oh yeah, like Ghetto Gods, I would probably do like a light 8.
Okay,
Like Big Crit, like Big Crit's album, maybe closer to a 6.
I'm
But
about to say
like
maybe a little bit lower, but I see
maybe
what you mean.
closer to a 6. Denzel Curry is like an 8. Like Pusha
Yeah,
T,
he's one of the good ones.
Pusha T and Kendrick are like 9s.
Upper echelon, yep.
Yeah. Like Dawn FM low key is like a 9 for me.
Fair. I'll let you have it.
Reborn is probably a full-fledged 10. So like that's but my thing is this, right? Like, look, I don't think the album's irredeemably bad, but like if I'm gonna throw a number on it, on a good day I'm going 4. On a bad day I might go as low as a 3 because I think it's below average. Would you really, if he came out and he gave it like a 3 or a 4, would that
like help it?
Yeah,
You're right. It would not have changed anything.
Yeah, would that have changed your reaction?
It's just because I think it would have changed my reaction. And the reason I'm saying that is because the implications of not putting a number at all makes it think that like it's offensive that he dropped.
It's like It's like artistically invalid,
Right.
Like to me,
I don't think that's real.
Second mention on the podcast, but like no, I definitely think there are albums that are like not good, like just like completely not good.
Yeah.
And like some of them that Fantano has said, like I agree with. Like the best example I think is like the second time I'm mentioning it today, the Machine Gun Kelly pop punk album. Like they're just not good.
They're not.
And like also like I remember one time he gave it's a band called Greta Van Fleet. And like there are good bands, like everyone who's in it is like a good artist. But like they're just doing like a Led Zeppelin impression. They're not doing anything new. Right?
Okay.
It's really like it is a level of creative bankruptcy that you literally can't get in hip hop. Like imagine if someone did did songs that were all just like Weeknd songs. But worse. And like he gave that a not good under the pretext of like it's not that these guys don't make good music, it's that they're completely creatively bankrupt. So I'm like sometimes he gives like different reasons. And on this one, I don't know, man. I thought he gave good reasons.
What was his reason?
Just that it felt very thrown together. It felt very low effort. That was about it. That's about all I retained.
I mean, that's totally fine.
And
I get all of that.
And like, I also think his like, yeah, you're right. He has given several Nav albums not good, but I hate to say it, but like,
I still think not good is an exaggeration.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. I understand. Nav is my guilty pleasure. Like, I don't think he's anything amazing or to need to be put in the spotlight.
You know what? Here's the thing. He's not. Like, the thing about Nav is that he's not, like, offensively bad.
No. And that's the thing. So I feel like giving something, which is why I wanted to discuss the topic, like, just the idea of giving something not good is weird to me.
Like, dismissing it.
Right.
And
that's
like,
an unfair judgment that you're not even giving something the quality of time that it deserves.
You know, yeah. I would say that. I would watch the video and, like, did you watch the video?
I didn't get to watch, no.
I would watch it because, like, it's not him, like, just shitting on it without engaging critically. And, like, he does concede that there are good songs on the album. Like, he's not, like, it's more him, it feels more like he gave it a not good because of how low effort it was how it felt like he didn't really put a lot of thought into it. And it almost felt like he was kind of reminiscing a little bit for the Drake that used to be like so tight with lyrics, because I do think that's a valid criticism of the album, is that like, yeah, like you don't have to be like on point like a MC if you're making a house music album, but your lyrics should at least be good and like fun enough to like play off the dance, the beat.
I want, now that you said that, because I didn't know that was one of the points. Try to listen to the album more time. You're gonna listen to it again anyway. But
Yeah,
next time you listen to the album,
I'll be listening to like the big songs.
I was gonna say, like, actually pull up the lyrics. And like, I understand that's a hassle, and like, yes, you can just sit there and actually listen to the
I can
lyrics.
actually just
But, like,
click the button on title and it'll show me the lyrics.
yeah. So that's perfectly fine. I want you to actually like look at the lyrics. I'm not gonna say anything now because I want to get like a good pure reaction from you afterwards. But like, I think you'll be surprised, and I want your opinion after you actually listen to the lyrics.
All right, we can do that.
Because personally, and like I said, we almost never give numbers on this podcast, but I feel like on this rare occasion, it's fine. I would give it a 5. I believe it's an average album. On a good day, and I'm in the mood, I'm giving it a 6.
That's fine.
Honestly.
See,
and I think because the lyrics actually, like, there actually are some good lyrics.
Yeah, my thing is that, like, having a song like Jimmy Cooks and Sticky that are like loaded with good lyrics, those do not make up for having a song like Falling Back, which are devoid of anything of substance. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I don't think those necessarily make up for it, but I'll do that. I can do that for you. All right, so shall we get to the topic of the day?
Yeah, this is actually a good one.
Yeah, so Purvis, do the intro, do the thing.
And do the thing. Yeah, this week we will be discussing the new Freshman XXL list. This has been something that I feel has been a staple within the hip hop community for coming up at least a decade or more now.
Yeah.
It's been a fair, and I put emphasis on fair. I think it's been a fair judge to see who will be the future leaders of the industry. And they do a decent job at hand picking and collecting which artists to bring on their lists to kind of market and show the community what's going on.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
we touched on it very briefly, like last week. You always got like the big 2016 with all these big names, and we kind of went through that, so we don't have to go through the list again.
Yeah,
but
we're talking specifically about this year.
Right. What are your feelings? And I'll just take a light step back. What are your feelings on Freshman XXL, just as a
institution?
Right.
I think it has a purpose. On one end, it does seem like kind of increasingly pointless, right?
Okay.
With like, it made sense in like an internet age where like, access to music was like borderline limitless, but access to artists was like still kind of like behind like personal social media and stuff that couldn't scale. So like that started to make a little bit more sense. But in the modern in the modern age when you could just like find these guys directly, probably on a TikTok where like you're 2 steps away from like interacting with them personally, it seems kind of a relic. And it does seem increasingly like they are picking more and more people, and less of them have become relevant.
Yes.
But it is like a numbers game, right? And it is something to be said that like, just a few years ago they had huge names that they had in the Freshman XL. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing that kind of stood out to me as it grows longer, and every year they add more people in. I feel like it's been either A, less accurate, or B, less effective Um, because I'm looking at the list that we have this year, and I don't want to have that old man effect where it's like, oh, this isn't as good as like the
Yeah.
traditional, blah blah blah. But like in reality, I took time to go through all these people. I think there's going to be a lot of fall off.
Yeah, I do think there's going to be a lot of fallout, and I'll tell you this much: I actually don't know how much it has to do with quality per se.
Okay, what do you mean?
Well, like a lot of these guys, just like how many Nardo Wicks can the culture hold?
Okay,
There's a lot of people making music with his sound. You can say the same thing about Big 30, Big Scar. They're
okay.
very much gunning for the same spot. People who can more create their own space in the industry
There's going to have more success.
are going to have more success. Yeah.
I completely agree with that statement
Yeah.
because even the two names that you just mentioned, that was going to be my first point.
Yeah.
Big 30 and Big Scar, I thought was the same person.
Yeah.
When I was like going through and actually listening, I think I listened to maybe 3 to 5 songs of each artist if I didn't know them already.
Yeah.
And like it's things like that where if you don't create your own flow or find a way to take a certain style and improve it,
Yeah.
I feel like there's going to be so much fall off on this list,
Yeah.
which is like a negative and depressing way to look at it, but I think it's a realistic way to look at it because, like you said, with Nardo Wick, it's only so many like Nardo Wicks you can fit in the like
Yeah.
space right now,
Yeah.
and so I feel like there's only a couple that stood out to me that's going to create their own name, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, same here. There's only a few that I can see like genuinely making it. There's a few that I think could be surprising.
I mean, this year was like
there wasn't a, with the exception of probably one artist, there wasn't a horrible bottom on this. There wasn't a lot of awful artists. Maybe some generic artists, maybe some artists that all fit into the same lane.
I would say there's one awful artist.
Yeah, me too.
Is it Babytron?
It's Babytron, yeah.
Okay. Glad we're on the same page. I'm
Yeah,
glad
it's
you
Babytron.
came to
Yeah.
that same conclusion.
I
Okay.
think like what he's doing like could be cool, but it isn't. Like
I don't even know if I could say it could be cool.
yeah.
Like if I'm being
That's fair.
completely
No,
honest.
that's fair. No, I got no counter argument.
I really did try. The beats weren't even hip hop beats. The flow was offbeat.
Weird. It
sounded
sounds like he's rapping over
Babyface, whatever his name is.
Yeah, it sounds like Blueface rapping over a malfunctioning Nintendo. Like
yeah, it just I don't understand it. I knew it was gonna be this because I was looking at someone on TikTok talking about Freshman XXL and everyone's saying like, "Oh, baby trying to carry, baby trying to carry." If you see that in the comments, those are trolls.
Well, like the thing is, like Fantano likes Babytron apparently. Like,
no way.
And I'm like, no, like
I must be missing something.
Like,
I must have looked up the wrong person.
No, it's the Babytron I listened to was that one. What songs did I listen to of his? I have them right here.
I mean, it just.
I listened to
also, his name is 10th spot winner, Babytron. So, like,
it's accurate.
One, nigga, change your name. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to carry too much about him because I don't want to sound all negative and like disgusting on somebody. But
he's
gonna be a fault.
I would say like one of our brands is that like we definitely try and talk about positive shit. We try not to tear people down, except when it's
needed,
deserved, or very funny. But yeah, like I thought he was. Look, there's definitely a bunch of people on this list that just aren't for me. But
also another thing I'm pointing out, yes.
Yeah, but I feel like everyone else on this list has like some talent, and I can see like some end game version where they could be big. No, not this guy.
Yeah, no, this is like obviously, and it's messed up that I'm comparing it this way, but like this reminds me of something like Lil Dicky. Like
It,
it's not meant to be a joke, but it literally sounds like one.
it's like Little Dicky meets 100 Gex.
Come on, bro. That's just terrible.
All right.
That's just terrible.
Okay, so let's talk about Nardo Wick really quick. Let's like run down the list because we've already talked about Baby Tron.
Get that out the way.
Yeah. What do you think about
Do you
Nardo
know?
Wick? I
Okay,
listened to about I listened to about a half dozen of his songs.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you already knew him because, believe it or not, all the big names I already had one of their albums saved to listen to.
Yeah.
Nardo Wick I've listened to already, previous to him being announced on Freshman XXL. So I've been a fan of him for quite some time anyway. I think he has already made it, if I'm being honest. It's just the fact that he's young in his career. One takeaway that I did have that kind of gave me some concern. All of his big songs, it seems, are just features. And I don't know if he's getting carried.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like I thought, and I feel this way about another artist that we'll talk about in a second.
Okay.
But like, yeah, like he's like it's good, but it's not very unique to me.
No,
You
not at
know,
all.
it very much like blends. Like look, I'm looking at this feature list. I see Little Baby, Future, 21 Savage, Little Durk. All probably four names of people who are doing very similar styles of music, and
I was about to say,
I'm
they
out
all work
21
together.
Savage, Little Baby, like those two do this kind of music in ways that are like unique and specific.
Mhm.
Now, I guess the thing we can't say about Nardo though is that he's so young that like he could carve that. You know,
Yes, he still has plenty of time.
he still has plenty of time to like carve out that lane for himself, but I feel like it's something he needs to do.
And as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like if your biggest songs and what you're known for are songs that people don't even know that's yours, it's a red flag.
I just, I think about like some of the older triple XLs, right? And like, it kind of presents all these artists as equals. And then you go back and you look and it's like, oh no,
They're
Kendrick
not.
Lamar is not equal to Little B and
Like
Yellow
they,
Wolf.
they are not
Like-
at all. Right, exactly.
And like, you might have thought so because all he had out at the time was like ADD or that was it? Yeah, ADD. So it's like, and I wonder, like, could that be true of any of these artists?
So we have that, like,
Yeah.
we have the benefit of having that hindsight is 2020
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Where will they go?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so let's go down.
I do follow with that.
Let's go down to Doechii.
This is the person I was most impressed.
Yeah.
I don't
really?
think she's the best, but I was the most impressed in
She
terms
is-
of her range.
She is my favorite out of the class, without a shadow of a doubt.
I put her second, but that's not to be like a bad thing. Like,
Yeah, no,
that
that's
still
fair.
means she's amazing. I think she's really good. I was astonished by the range because I listened to, I think the most songs by her just because she really caught my attention. I listened to at least 5 or 6 songs. Each one was very different, like
Yeah.
uniquely different.
Yeah, no, she has a lot of different energies she can bring.
She can sing, she can rap, like
at least
she's got a lot.
I listen to So like what I do is I listen to like 3 to 4 of each one, and then when I finished, I went back and I listened to more Doechii.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was really really impressed, and yeah, she has range. I think she's a perfect fit for PG Lang.
Man, they know how to do.
Yeah,
this
like
work.
she's a perfect fit for them.
Mhm.
So yeah, she was the one who like, man, she really impressed me.
Because I remember, when we first started talking about her in the podcast, she had dropped the music video where everybody was naked.
Crazy.
And I was like, I don't even know who this is. Like, this came from nowhere. And even last week when we was talking about it, I was like, I don't even know if she has an album out. She does. And it's good.
Yeah. No, she's someone to watch. And the other thing is that, like, I do think she is clearly in her own lane.
Yeah.
right? Because like she kind of like at least with a few of the songs I listen to, it kind of feels like she really has like a solid lyricism and very solid storytelling techniques.
Hmm.
And it sound like it. I don't think there's another female artist like doing exactly that this well.
I think all she needs, if I'm being honest, she needs one breakout album,
Yeah,
and
she
she's going to
needs
be there.
she needs
She's
a
going to be there.
she needs a great album, and then she's in.
Right. Like literally, she's in. That's the best way to put it because
Yeah,
I'm not going to go as far as like, obviously, it's way too early for any of these people. I'm not going to claim GOAT for anybody here.
yeah,
But
no,
like, I can see the possibility of that upper echelon of like, who knows, top 10, top 15 female artists.
yeah,
So I can see it
yeah.
develop.
So I think she is like the best, like case scenario for something like this because she has just like the pure lyrical talent, and she also has like a niche that she could go down.
Yep. Hmm.
So she's
She's
gonna do big things.
She's bringing a lot to the table, and she has a great agent representative that's also at the table that's going to support her. So
Yeah,
I'm excited to see what her NPG Lang does.
yeah. So I think she's set up for mad success. I'm excited to see whatever she does.
How do you feel about Solfago?
Sofago's an interesting guy. Interesting. So in some ways, I feel very similarly to how I feel about Nardo Wick, in
Hmm.
that how many of these Travis Scott clones can we fit in the culture?
Hmm.
Like I, like you're gonna. I don't know how you're gonna feel about me saying this, but like sometimes I listen to Sofago and it's like, is this not just like Don Tolliver, but like not quite with as much style and finesse?
I was literally about to say watered down
Yeah,
somebody.
yeah, watered down like that watered down Travis Scott sound like SoundCloud sound, right?
So,
But I do think he's good. I like him more than I like Nardo Wick.
okay,
So like I
okay.
do like him. I just think he has the same problem where he's going into a very oversaturated part of the genre,
Hmm.
and I don't see him as having a differentiator. I like him. I think he's good, but like I
He's
you know,
making it difficult
I
for himself.
don't see him. Yeah, and like he's not as like interesting as like a Don Tolliver. You know what I mean?
That's yes. That's one of the
That's
main
the
things that.
word. Not
Mhm.
necessarily good or bad, just interesting.
And that's all, honestly, I thought about that as well. I'm glad you brought that up. That is all about marketing. Like, he does not really have a social media presence that I've seen so far.
Yeah.
He hasn't been able to collect to the masses or get a large people supporting him in the background. Don't get me wrong. I know you don't care about numbers, but I had to at least look. I believe he was in the top 4 or 5 most listeners out of everyone on this list.
Yeah.
It might even be 3 or 4. Now that I
Who's
look at
number
it, but
one?
it
Was it Nardo?
coaches had
Okay.
5.6, almost 6 million. Who
Yeah.
I have is first, by the way, but I'll talk about that when I get to that.
Yeah.
I think he'll be okay. I think he'll fit his own spot in his own lane. But if I'm being honest, I don't know how high his ceiling is.
Yeah.
There's the oh my god, I can't think of the words now and it's gonna kill me, but I think it's like the hold on, I'm gonna have to look it up because if I say it wrong, I'm gonna feel stupid. But I think it's like the altitude versus aptitude test or something.
Oh, and attitude versus aptitude.
Right. Like I feel he has the talent, but I don't know how high he can go. I don't know how high his capabilities can take him because he's already Loki, in my opinion, I feel like he's already made a name for himself and he's already made it because he is huge on TikTok.
Yeah.
Like all the songs that are trending and going popular has 20 million listeners or 20 million plays just on Spotify itself. And like these are all TikTok songs. So if he can show that he has the capabilities of breaking through that TikTok ceiling, which isn't even that high, then I think he can make a name for himself.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with what you're saying. I just think he needs to bring some of that personality to the music itself too. But yeah, pretty much everything else I agree with you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. All right. So, are you familiar with Babyface Ray?
Previous to this, no. This was actually one of the names that I had to look into and learn.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he's on Future's new album,
Yeah.
so that completely flew over my head.
That was one of the songs I listened to, and it was a good song.
Yeah, yeah, no,
But
don't get me
like,
wrong. I mean, you know how I feel about that album.
yeah, definitely, it's a better Future album than most for sure. But it does feel, it does feel like it's kind of going not into the same buckets as Nardo Wick or Sofago, but kind of
Hmm.
like more into like this, like the recent influx of like new gangster rap with like Roga,
Okay, okay.
like him, Roga and Duke Deuce, and like all these guys were kind of like doing like an influx.
Ruga?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, like they're doing like this new era of like gangster rap, which I feel like he's very much like I don't think he's carving a space for himself within that so much. Because I gotta be honest, I don't even remember what these songs
It
like.
didn't feel like.
They kind of just sounded kind of generic. My
Hmm.
only takeaway is that like I think maybe that section of the culture like just isn't as saturated as like trap music or cloud rap.
Okay, that's a really good take on it. That
Yeah,
yeah, that's a
like
great take on it.
that's probably my take. Is that like I just don't think like it sounds very of a subgenre, but I just think that probably that subgenre can handle some more bodies.
And he might be an influence to it. He might bring
Yeah,
some light to it. This is one of
yeah,
the I think him and like one other person was a few people I listened to, and I could not. I don't know why. I couldn't come up with anything. I was neither here nor there. I wasn't impressed, but also wasn't like this is trash or anything.
yeah,
I just feel like you said, it's one of those subgenres that I don't really pertain to,
yeah,
just because. And I know this is some people might say this is a dumb reasoning, but if I can't connect to the music that well, like I just I can't really support it or feel anything towards it, which is why I don't like country music.
yeah.
I don't
No, I
relate to
feel that.
many of the lyrics.
No, I feel that. I'm the same way. And I only like very little country music for that same reason.
Yep. So
Now
you get it.
let's talk about two at once here
Okay.
because and I hate doing this because it's like a sexist trope. But
Oh, I
like
know what you mean. Yeah.
Callie and Ken the Man, they sound like the same.
Yes.
Like don't get me wrong. Like I listened to three songs by each of them. I thought they were above average. Like I thought like maybe on a song level, like maybe they were probably in the upper half of the pack.
Hmm.
But they just seem like Megan clone. You know,
Yeah.
they seem
Yeah.
like like when you have artists who make like such a big impact in the genre, like Travis Scott, like Megan, you're gonna have
They touch
people
everything.
who follow, and the best ones will be people who follow in those footsteps and then do something new with it. And who knows, maybe one of these two absolutely could.
Hmm.
Once again, I did not think their music was bad by any stretch. I just, it really wasn't for me. It really was kind of like focused for women, which hey, that's great. And it seemed like they were both kind of competing for that, kind of raunchy female lyricist type.
It's interesting that you said that because the same thing I just said about Babyface Ray, where it's just like I can't relate to it. It's the same thing for both of them, and like I feel terrible like saying something like that because it feels like oh they're already against so many terrible standards and whatever it
Yeah,
might be in the industry,
yeah,
as difficult as it is for them.
yeah,
Um, but I just felt like at least Callie, she just put out an album, and someone told me to listen to it and to dive into it. But like what I heard so far did not make me want to do that.
yeah,
I'm still going to, but it just didn't really click, and I feel like her audience just isn't for me. So I
yeah.
just can't really you know. apply too much either criticism or praise to it because I clearly cannot dive into it the same way that someone else can and have an impact towards their lifestyle or beliefs than that I can.
Yeah, and
And like,
I
sorry, go
definitely,
ahead.
I definitely feel like if they drop a project and people are like, no, dude, it's really fucking good, like I would have zero reservations about diving into it. But
Right,
yeah, it just didn't resonate.
right. And like I said, someone already said listen to Toxic Chocolate by Callie, so I already saved it. It's already in my queue. I'm going to listen to it because I think it deserves that respect. But I am slightly concerned after hearing the singles, and even for In the Man, I'm looking at.
So what were you saying?
Yeah. I mean, just wrapping up everything that I was saying already. The last little point that I had, like, the only thing that I saw for, I know I've already kind of talked about Cali extensively, but for Ken the Man, I honestly think that this is going to be a fall off. And the reason I'm saying that, I was looking at the songs here. The only like major song that even put her on the map or even is really getting any interest is a song for me, which is like it entered a whole new list of like a vocabulary that people use now on social media. It's just like, oh, is this for me or is that for me? And I hate it. I'm sorry, I hate it. So I have a negative outlook
Yeah,
on it.
no, that's just gonna happen. Yeah, I mean, I'm rooting for the girls, but I kind of agree with your criticism.
Right. So we'll see.
All right,
We can only hope.
so there's two more I want to just like lump together, and
Yes.
that's Big 30 and Big Scar, because
Um,
I mean
you go first.
they literally come from
Memphis, Tennessee.
Memphis.
I looked it up.
Yeah, like they come from the same place. I listened to a few of the songs with Big 30, just didn't hit for me. Just didn't hit for me. And when you said like, oh, they sound like very similar, yeah, like I get that. I get why you would think that. But here's the thing.
Okay.
I listened to Big Scar and I actually like really liked it.
Really?
Yeah. I
Okay.
listened to like Soulsy Boys, Ballin' in LA, Joe Dirt, Jesus Christ. Poppin' Trap. I liked all those songs. I was like, Jesus Christ. Like
No, yeah. I
and
mean,
like
here's
I
the
was like
thing.
kind of shocked, to be honest.
I was gonna say like they do sound the same, and that's not meant to say like it was terrible. Like there were some good songs I listened to, but only thing, and I couldn't get it out of my mind at this point. Once it hit, I just couldn't think of like only thought of Gucci Mane. That's all I could think about.
Yeah,
I
no,
literally I
he's
couldn't think about anything else.
he's Gucci Mane's Drake.
Like remember when we said Young Thug made like Little Baby and Gunna?
Yeah,
This is literally the same thing, but Gucci Mane. That's my only really takeaways. I already know that it's going to fall within a subgenre that I just
doesn't
I'm not,
personally vibe with
yeah,
us. All right,
and
now,
I accept that.
all right. So I did this because now I think we can line up who I think are definitely going to be the three most interesting. All right, we had to do some hard cuts, take a phone call or two. So I think we grouped these last couple into groups because now I think we have like the most interesting three names in it.
Yes,
Besides for Dochi, but we have K Cry. Is that how you say it?
I believe so. Yep. K Cry.
Cochise and Saucy Santana.
Should we start off with K Cry?
Let's start off with K Cry. What did you think about K Cry?
K Cry is someone that I actually already knew and I didn't realize. I've saved the recent album and to go back to it. The singles that I did hear, kind of warming up to it. I didn't want to listen to that album because I want to listen to it all at once.
Yeah, I agree.
But the singles were really, really good in what I heard so far. I think they're one of the more unique sounds
Yeah,
that can kind of carry their own weight.
yeah, definitely. He sounds. Remember how we talked about like, yeah, you can like live in the vein of a more established artist if you do something more interesting with it. Uh,
Hmm.
he kind of sounds like that for Playboy Cardi.
Ooh,
Like
that's a good comparison.
I listen to Okay, The Sun, the songs he has in the 5 Year Foreign album. What was the other one? Love and Hate.
Oh, so you actually got a good
Yeah,
sample.
I listened to a good sample. I liked him a lot. I thought he had incredible energy. I thought he really shines. He is absolutely in my top three favorite of the
Ooh, okay.
freshman list.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. um, and then what? Actually, one thing before I move on, which was surprising, he had one of the lowest numbers, which
Interesting.
right, which is interesting. But I feel like he's gonna blow up and be the biggest one, or one of the biggest ones.
Yeah, there's definitely space in the culture for a guy like him, I think.
Hmm.
All right, now
Um,
let's get to Cochise.
yes.
What
So
did you think about him?
Coaches, I found months ago, bro. Like I love coaches. He is like the staple of energetic. Like
Yeah,
he is the energetic person in the XL group. Um, he brings that that traditional SoundCloud energy. He is something you play at a party. It's good anywhere you take it. I think he already made it. If I'm being honest,
yeah,
like in my personal opinion, I think he's already up there. He just doesn't have as big as a fan base as some of the other artists, obviously. But I feel like his name is well known enough where he already kind of made his own space, and I think it's only going to go up from there. He has the most monthly listeners. So this is the person I was talking about earlier. He
okay.
has about 5.7
Wow,
million monthly listeners. So
wow.
like I said,
A
his
third
name
of
is
French
already out
Montana.
there. Which in its own right is kind of impressive, even though it is French
In some
Montana.
ways, it's like it's kind of humbling, and in some ways, it's kind of empowering. Like,
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna fit in that. He's a Florida rapper, so he's already fitting in that space.
yeah,
He's done music with Let me see here.
it's not.
Is this the one? Yeah, well, it's not. Well, a whole bunch of different people. Like
Yeah,
it, I think this is going to be the
Lil Yachty,
upcoming Florida group after uh, what are the names? Now I'm blanking
like
out too.
Smoke Perp and
Ski
Ski
Mask,
Mask, and
right? Exactly. Ski Mask, Trippy Red, all of them. He's going to fit in that air bubble, and
yeah,
he's going to do well.
yeah. You know, it's. I agree. I love this guy's energy. It's very high energy. I am surprised to hear that he is the most popular out of everyone. But yeah, like no, I bought into this dude. Like I think
Right.
maybe like song wise, I think there are other ones I liked a little bit more, but I could just
Mhm.
see the potential.
Right.
So
And I feel like he's going to be one of those people. The substance may not be the first thing you need to look at. Like
yeah,
when you listen to this artist, people that I think the hardcore fan base that listen to him will be mostly for the vibes.
yeah, and he's a very vibes focused artist.
Yes.
I only really listened to like three songs with him, but I love the energy. So he was one I want to go back to listen to some more.
Highly recommend it. His album that's out, the single album, well, not the single album, the one album that he has out, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Listen to it while working out.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about this last name because I think it's a talk.
It's the most interesting. It's the
It
most
is the
interesting.
most interesting. It is the most
And,
interesting, and that's
and
Saucy
it's
Santana.
gonna say
And
it's not because of the music, unfortunately.
yeah, you know what? I'm gonna say it right now. I don't think
Okay.
he's untalented. I think I thought he had pretty decent bars. The only thing is
Yes,
that like I think there's an argument to be made that like aesthetically it's not in the tradition of hip hop.
it is not at all.
Uh,
There are
what?
a couple of hits that are out there, and I did listen to some of them.
Yeah.
I think my takeaway personally, and I don't want to say the wrong thing, so I'm just going to say they. I don't know if it goes by he or her.
He.
I okay. Well, he is a perfect equation for like one hit wonders, and the ones that I've seen already so far, Material Girl blew up like crazy.
Yeah.
Booty featuring Lotto is blowing up right now like crazy. I think what he brings to the table is very unique and a
Yeah.
good combination for him to find his own space within the genre,
Yeah.
but it not blind or naive. There's going to be a lot of pushback.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of pushback. Yeah, there's definitely going to be a lot of pushback, and there really shouldn't, because I think a lot of the pushback is going to be very vapid.
Mm-hmm.
Look, he's a rapper. Like, that was the thing, is that I thought there was a chance I'd put on Saucy Santana, right? And like there'd be a lot of singing, there'd be a lot of like, maybe more of like a house music kind of vibe, maybe more of a dance kind of vibe. But no, dude,
Mm-hmm.
he's spitting bars. Right? He is rapidy rapping, right? The thing is that the songs itself just do not fit into the traditions of hip hop. They fit much more cleanly into the traditions of queer music.
Yeah,
So
it does.
I think that that's going to be a curse, because like, the kind of people who will respect him for his talent, you know. Now, I think there's more crossover between those communities than people assume, and I think that's why he's going to have a career. Is because I
Mm-hmm.
do think there are plenty of people who like hip hop who also participate in those queer spaces, and to those people, what this is perfect.
Right. This
You
is the
know,
perfect equation for him.
and I think in terms of raw talent, like he's probably not top three, but he might be top five. It's just that aesthetic that aesthetic difference. For me personally, it's kind of hard to get over.
Yep.
You
I,
know?
I was gonna say I the reason I said I'm not naive is because like I completely understand, and as terrible as this might sound, I do not expect him to blow up or
Yeah,
be a big name in the genre whatsoever.
yeah,
I, as advanced as we are as a society and moving forward and being more progressive, obviously there's been major changes in the past 10 years, 20 years, whatever timeline you want to put. I still do not think the genre is quite there or ready to accept this. And the reason I'm saying that we saw it with Lil Nas X.
yeah,
And I'm not saying Lil Nas X fell off. I'm not saying anything of that nature. But it was a very clear distinction and a very clear amount of pushback from the community that did want to like actually even listen to him.
yeah,
Like people wouldn't even listen to him.
yeah. And like, yeah, like the core hip hop fans are not gonna fuck with this dude. Like, it's just
Not even in the slightest. And
not
it's
even
not
a
even gonna have
little
to do
bit.
with the music.
But like, and he, in a way though, I almost kind of like respect the aesthetic more then, because fuck those people, right? Because let's be real, like the reason they're not accepting him is bigotry, which is something we should try not to tolerate.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I do think just because like his art does go in like a different aesthetic direction, I don't even think those people are going to be aware that this guy exists, because
And
the
that is also true.
because the difference is, one, the, Little Nas X got in front of a lot of people's faces because of Old Town Road he became uh before he came out. Saucy Santana is loud and proud, so
That is true.
there's no illusions there. And the other thing is like, I think there's some truth to what you say about like how far society has come in a long time. But also there's been like some pretty sweeping anti-gay legislation, and anti-gay sentiment is on the rise all
Mm-hmm.
around the country. So for that alone, for just being an openly queer man in hip hop, I give him respect.
No, yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
for
Like
that.
I give it all
But
the respect that is due.
like, the music is pretty clearly just not for me. Like, it's just not aimed for me. Like, I think I bet 100% that if I sat down and I talked to Mr. Santana, like,
he would literally say it's not meant for
Yeah,
you.
like I think like if we liked
Right.
his music, that would be a problem. Like I don't
I was
think
gonna
the
say,
people.
he would be more surprised.
Yeah,
than anything.
you would like look. I can respect like the talent, like 100%. But yeah, like it's just not for me, and I think everyone agrees with that. So, and the other thing is, I'm happy for like more queer hip hop fans who get like who don't have to choose, you know, because
They don't have a lot of options.
yeah, because you don't have a lot of options, and even like you know, I live only like a half mile from Boys Town, and it's like you know, Kevin Abstract raps about being gay, but like you wouldn't hear Brockhampton at a Pride event.
True.
But like Saucy Santana, like that's kind of his demo, like that's kind of his thing, and you know what? I applaud him for it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, truth be told, like I thought talent wise, I thought he was definitely in the upper side of this class. I definitely think he's gonna be one of the ones with a pretty safe career because I think he has that niche. You know, he's never gonna be a household name.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say
I don't think he's ever gonna be a household name. I think
no.
best case scenario is that he's very, very popular among queer audiences, and he's respected by, you know, a larger hip hop community. Maybe not the core hip hop
Yeah,
fans,
I was gonna say
but
that
maybe
would be,
the broader culture.
Yeah, I was gonna say that would be the optimal goal in my opinion because I think that would be the ceiling. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, no, I agree.
think
I
the
agree.
ceiling
That is
yeah,
pipe dream. That is
right,
better than I think that's possible, but it's the best case scenario.
100%.
Yeah.
And the limits are what it is. I'm not gonna sit here and talk about like
Yeah.
society as a whole, but like I have a full understanding that even if he is successful in his own space, it will never cross my path if I'm keeping it a stack.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I will ever go and play him personally. I just can't relate to anything on the music, and I think that applies for a lot of the larger fan base.
I
within
agree.
hip-
I agree. And yeah, real talk, I'm probably not going to be listening to a whole lot of him intentionally.
Right.
But my question to you then is, what if he drops an album and like, you know, it's getting 9s and 10s? People are saying it's a classic. You know,
Here's the thing, and this might be a walk, so bear with me. So let me talk about it this way. There are clear classics that are rock albums. There are clear classics that are metal albums, country albums, whatever it might be, that I will not call a classic personally.
Yeah.
Just because it does not have any impact towards me. If he drops a classic, I am fully aware that the subgenre is so unique and small within hip hop that it almost is going to have its own genre that I do not even relate to. So I won't even like, if it's called a classic, I kind of mentally am already in the headspace that I already know that this is going to, I wouldn't even consider a hip hop album. That's how like different it might be to me.
Huh.
And I don't mean that like in a negative way, but like it's such
you
a
just think it's like a different genre. Yeah.
Right. It's such a clear subgenre. And I think it's morally messed up that it's going to be in its own circle where it's almost outside, like it's almost being pushed out by the rest of the subgenres. You feel?
Yeah, there's no almost about it.
Right. There's no almost about it.
Yeah.
But exactly.
But yeah.
So if it is a 10, knowing me, I'll probably listen to it like once just to see like, oh, what is this all about?
I'll listen to
Like,
literally any hip hop adjacent artist who gets a 10 out, like gets a bunch of like, look, there's no like one reviewer that like if they say go listen to this, I'll go listen to it. But like if a bunch do, and then like one of my friends, like, then I'll listen to it. And like, yeah, like my thing is that I don't think that that's like an unreasonable outcome here because I think like he could, and I think it's like an interesting, just like not to parse, you know. But you know,
Yeah.
I feel bad for the dude because you know I think it sucks that he's never going to be taken too seriously because of how he wears his identity on his sleeve. But then again, like at least he has his community.
Yeah. He will have his
His community, like his songs will not go unheard, and I think that's good. Like at least like
that
if he's gonna have talent, he's gonna be appreciated by people.
exactly. He's gonna fall in his
Yeah.
own circle. And I guess one thing that I was taking into consideration, and I'll present it as a question then. How how can he branch out? Because like you said, this is clearly going to be like I think you said it was like queer music, right? Like it's gonna fall
Yeah.
within the subgenre of like queer music.
Yeah.
How does he break out of that? Because like personally, what I was thinking, I feel like, and of course, this is not meant to overgeneralize any subgenre or any demographic or whatever it might be. But I feel like for him to branch out, the next community that he normally would reach would be female African Americans.
Yeah.
And so I'm just curious, what do you think? What route or what methods does he needs to take to actually become bigger than just this bubble that he's or box that he's going to be placed in?
You know, this is less of like a general thing and more of like a very specific thing. But like if Saucy Santana can put out an album that speaks to the experiences of being a gay black man in America to the same degree that or even a similar even in the same, you know, splashes radius, right? To the degree that like Kendrick talks about being a black man in Compton on Good Kid Mad City, if he could like take this queer experience and put it into like a classic hip hop album and like tell his story through that music, I think I think he's talented enough that if he decides to go down this route, which there's no indication that he would,
Mm-hmm.
I think it could hit. Like, you know, I think
That
if
would
he, you know, I think there's like, it's like the end game, right? It's like there's one play. It's the one play they got. But I think
right.
if he could share his experience as well as some of the best artists of all time have, I think he could definitely supersede that. I think he has. I think it's not crazy to think that that's something that could happen. I just think that's the only real way to do it.
Right, man. He's got an uphill battle on
I gotta
this.
be
I'll leave
honest
it at
though,
that.
I'm rooting for the guy because I do think he's talented. I want him to succeed.
Yeah, like I said, it's going to be an uphill battle, and
Yeah,
I mean, and this applies for everyone that we just discussed. We just completed the list. We've been
yeah.
going through this whole list. It's going to be an interesting outcome on
Uh,
everybody here. And I guess I should ask, since we're getting to the end of this, do you want? I kind of wanted to, and I don't know how you feel about it. Do you want to do a top five, and then we can make like timestamp? We can check back in the year, and we could be like, who actually made it?
I'll do a top three
Okay.
because like I mean like I guess my top five would be Dochi's number one. Dochi was my favorite out of this group by a mile.
Okay.
Then K Cry, then Cochise, then Big Scar, and then low
Ooh.
key, then
Okay.
probably Saucy Santana.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, like those are my five. Like if I have to pick like the five standouts, that's it.
I would do Cochise, Dochi, Sofago, K Cry, and then Nardo.
That's good.
That would be my
Yeah,
five.
those are good.
In that order, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, yeah. Mine is very much in that order.
Yeah.
Like,
Like, and that's a mixture between like who I want to and who I actually think is.
yeah, yeah. I think the ones most primed for success are definitely going to be Cochise and Dochi.
Yeah. We can definitely like already depend on that.
Yeah, like I think they're the most likely. And if you consider like a smaller scale success within within a community, I think Saucy Santana is the other one who's like almost a guaranteed like spot.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I gotta say, like, I don't think there were that many like awful. We didn't listen to any of the freestyles. That's another thing we should point out. We didn't listen to like the freestyles or the cipher.
I mean, the thing is, they won't freaking drop it. I've been looking, bro, since they
They
dropped
dropped two
all
of
the
them.
lists. Right, they're doing it individually now, which I
Yeah,
didn't even know was a thing. Why are they doing that?
they've done the individual freestyles for like a little bit, but the
Like
cipher
the
is the
actual
thing
group one.
everyone wants.
Right.
Yeah,
They haven't dropped it.
yeah. So haven't seen those yet. You know, who knows? That could be a whole nother moment. If the cipher is a moment, we'll talk about that next week. Uh but just based off the songs, like yeah, those are the five that I'm liking, and I don't think, with the exception of Megatron or whatever the fuck his name is, like
Mega
uh
try. Baby try.
yeah, like
Oh man.
uh, but yeah, like those are yeah. I didn't think there was anyone awful. Like even like Big 30 and Ken the Man, the ones I probably reverberate like vibed with the least. Like they're not
Hmm.
awful. They were just a little boring.
Right.
So yeah,
Everyone can't make it.
yeah. You know, maybe not as many highlights as some other years, but probably not as many embarrassments either. Like
Yeah, that's definitely something to point out. Yeah,
yeah,
there's been a lot of misses. So
yeah. I don't think there's any like there is no equivalent to Little Dicky on here, with the exception of Baby Tron.
baby try.
But like
Right.
Little Dicky
There's
also
always one.
okay, but like Little Dicky also had Designer his same year. There's no like equivalent to like both of them. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, that's a dangerous combination. I don't
yeah.
know what they was doing.
Ugh.
Oh man.
All right. Do we want to do? Do we want to do recommendations?
Yeah, for sure. I already got my three up. I've been taking screenshots all
Yeah.
week. So it's up to you who you want to go first.
You go first.
Okay, I'll open it up. As we've mentioned earlier, Brett Fias is coming with the album. I've been on a hard Brett Fias kick. I went back and listened to Too Fast by Sunder.
Oh yeah.
Man. And I didn't appreciate, I'll be honest, I did not appreciate that song when I first heard it. Because now that I went back and listened to it, the beat switch where it slows down, nah, that man is dangerous.
Yeah.
That man is something else.
Yeah. I definitely agree. All right.
What's
So
yours?
my first one. Okay. No, first one I'm actually gonna do. So thinking about Drake, I've been listening to a lot of house music this week, right?
Ooh, yes. Just
And
house
so
music.
I wanted to recommend at least one house music track.
That's actually
Yeah,
good.
yeah, that's actually good. And another thing is, and this is a point about nothing with whatever. Honestly, never mind. There we go.
Nothing
Uh,
else to say.
uh, the thing that's like kind of funny is that like there's a million like different like YouTube live mixes that are like algorithms of like collections of like little known house DJs that'll just
Okay.
like play them 24 hours a day. And like you could just find like much better house music than was on that just by listening to those. So
Right.
the track I'm going to recommend is called "Take Control" by Cream, spelled with a K and all uppercase.
Take
Just
control.
very classic, very very classic house music. Very much like not something you're going to put in your headphones and like listen to like a jazz album, but like it's
Yeah,
for a
I
house
get what you
party.
mean.
Like
You blast it. Turn
yeah,
up the speakers.
yeah, it's very fun. Great song.
Okay, but I will be saving that because after Drake, I realized that I need to finally dive into house music.
Come to my
And boy,
house
what a
in
terrible way
August.
to do a transition. But anyway, my next song is actually a SoundCloud song.
Ooh.
So I'm bringing back a little SoundCloud song. Um, this song, I don't even know the proper name, but if you look it up on SoundCloud, and of course I'll throw it on the Instagram post so you can track it down. I believe it is by someone named Skywater, and the song is called Mouse. It's a very brief minute and a half, 2 minute song. It just started blowing up on TikTok. Maybe I don't know, three viral videos about this song. Boy, does this song. It's short and sweet, and man, does it vibe. Like, it's one of those songs. It's kind of like a mix between lo-fi and like I don't know. It's hard to explain, but I highly, highly recommend it. It's just really good vibes.
That's sick.
I'll send you a link.
That's sick. I'll have to listen to that. All right.
All right.
My next one is kind of also inspired by Drake. Because we were talking about Drake last week, right? And I was like, just like listening to like one of those like best Drake tracks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, like I think like one of my favorites of his is Back to Back.
Wow, that's a classic. That song was crazy.
So I was thinking about like classic diss tracks.
Okay.
And I want to go with like an old school one, No Vaseline by Ice Cube.
Wow.
Yeah. You know the one?
Wow. Wow. What a curveball. How did that come about?
Well, just because like I just described it. I like listened to Back a bunch. And it was just like, let me go back and listen to some great diss tracks. I listened to Shoot 'Em Up. I listened to a bunch of the Eminem ones. But like No Vaseline is like by far my favorite one. Because it's like gross and like probably very bigoted. But he's dissing an entire like his whole entire old crew. Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this man was crazy.
Yeah, like
wow.
Yeah.
You just unlocked a memory. Okay.
God damn, I'm glad y'all set it up.
That's crazy.
I still think like, that's the best opening line in a diss track ever.
Bro, it's just Ice Cube is one of the biggest lyricists ever. People just don't even know.
You know,
it's crazy.
Dude, so crazy. I do think it's kind of funny how like he transitioned into acting and like no one was surprised because like he was not a gangster. He just looked the part. Like
he literally his job was to write the bars.
Yeah. And he did a good job. Ice Cube is probably in my top 15 favorite rappers of all time, for sure.
Ooh, wow, okay.
I love Ice Cube. I love
I've never even
NWA. I love Ice Cube.
Man, Brandon, now we gotta go watch the movie.
I got it too. Do you want to come watch it? I have it. Like,
it's honestly, dude, might be this weekend.
Dude, the extended cut's really good. If you want to come by Saturday night, I'm not doing shit.
Okay, but hold me on the calendar. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up with an extremely different song. Wow, I just realized this is gonna be a hard shift. I feel like you're gonna laugh. My last song is Sweater Weather by The Neighborhood.
That's a very different song. Dude, I love that song. I don't give a fuck.
This song's amazing.
I love this song. Dude, that's the White Weekend. Like The Neighborhood.
It's amazing, bro. This song's so good. I listened to it, I was like, oh, this hits. It hits.
Yeah, no, you should. A bunch of their songs are like super vibey.
All right, well, I will be doing a deep dive on The Neighborhood. That was quite the shift, but
their song "Scary Love" is probably in my top 10 best vibe songs of all time.
Sheesh. Okay, you're hyping it up.
All right, my last one, good one to go out on, because the album drops in 40 minutes. But
go on.
Lupe's dropping, so naturally I listen to Go Go Gadget Flow a million times.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Slight chance I may have recommended that in the past. I don't care. Like,
about to say I have every song here. I can check.
Yeah.
I guess I should ask.
Literally any other Lupe Fiasco song. Doesn't matter.
We've gone through that list earlier. I'm assuming Lupe is going to be first. I think I might do Giveon first, to be honest.
I'm going to do Lupe first. And then probably Giveon.
Actually, I'm going to go listen to the verses that's going on right now.
Yeah, we got a verses. Who's the verses?
Yeah, we forgot to mention it. Today is Mario versus Omarion, so that's a big one.
That's interesting.
There's going to be a lot of hits there. I feel like we missed a good portion of it, but I can always go back.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're going to talk about verses eventually on this podcast.
Yeah, we're going to have to eventually. Maybe we can get a verses with Fresh and Fit. Like,
I was gonna say we just need to find a hip hop versus, and then
yeah.
then we can actually talk about it.
All right. All right, guys. I think we're going to be signing out for the week.
Yes, sir.
But we'll, you know where to find us. You know where we are at.